Hi, today we have a special guest to explain about the Quantum Ethical Fund. We are very lucky that Mr. Chirag Mehta is a Quantum Ethical Fund manager is available right now with us. And we are very lucky also to explain. We will get some explanation about the new ethical fund from himself. As we are aware of, the Quantum Ethical Fund is the third ethical fund in the market. And let me introduce Mr. Chirag Mehta. Mr. Chirag Mehta have been elevated to the position of Chief Investment Officer of Quantum Asset Management Company with effect from 1st April 2022. Mr. Chirag has been serving as a Senior Manager at Alternative Investments. Mr. Chirag Mehta has joined the Quantum in 2006 and more than 18 years of the accumulated experience in the managing commodities and specializing in the field of alternative investment strategies. He has been the fund manager of the Quantum Small Cap Fund, Quantum Gold Fund, Gold Fund of Fund, Equity Fund of Fund, Quantum Multi-Asset Fund, and Quantum ESG Fund. He's a fund manager of several funds, but of course he has an assisting the associates fund managers also. Mr. Chirag has been formally ranked as the 4th best fund manager in the world under the age of 40 by the City in 2017. He is a qualified CAIA, which means a certified chartered alternative investment analysis, and he has also completed his master's management studies in finance. So let us straightly go to the first question. What are the benefits of the mutual funds, and kindly explain?
Sure. So mutual funds are a great vehicle or a great way to convert your savings that you do, money that you save from your income, into investments that can create the long-term wealth that you're looking for. So in a sense, you allot money to a professional, and that professional will manage money for you depending on the investment objective and investment goals that you have. So they will keep into account, each fund will have a certain risk return characteristics. And accordingly, what suits you, you can invest into those funds that suit your risk return characteristics and therefore achieve the long-term goals that you have from a financial standpoint with the risk that you are ready to take, and therefore the returns that you will generate for your long-term wealth creation. So I think they are fantastic vehicles, be it a short-term goal, be it a long-term goal from a finance point of view. It helps you achieve those goals. You want to, have an alternative to saving bank account, you have that. You want to create wealth for the long term, that is for retirement, for your children's education, marriage, etc. It helps you to do that. So it is a fantastic way, a very tax efficient way to convert your savings into investments for your long-term wealth creation.
Thank you. Now, next question is, now if we invest in the Quantum Ethical Fund, how you will pick up the stocks from the secondary market? You have more than 5,500 stocks registered in the BSE and more than 2,379 stocks from the NSE. How will you pick up these stocks as per the Sharia compliance?
Yes. So one is, if you look at, there are so many stocks, and it also leads to a very large opportunity set, right? There are 7,000 plus companies listed in Indian markets. And therefore, it is a great opportunity set. That is what I will look at. And from that opportunity set, we want to ensure that there are a few things that meet our criteria to achieve the objective that the investors have, investing ethically as well as making returns in the long term. So first criteria that we have is liquidity. So liquidity, any stock that meets our liquidity criteria, $1 million a day, which is about 8.5 crores of trading volumes on an average for last 12 months, becomes our first criteria, because liquidity is essential, because, our past experience in the 90s showed us that, our buying takes prices up, our selling brings prices down. And, we as managers earn fees, but at the end of the day, investors had profits on paper, but when they try to realize, they were not realizable. So in our bid to give our investors a transactable NAV, profits they see on paper to be realized in actual outcomes, we had this liquidity criteria. So liquidity, we think, is very essential into any investments. Second is, of course, given the Quantum Mutual Fund has launched a Quantum Ethical Fund, ethics is one of the main pillars of our investment. So any companies that does not meet our ethical criteria, which includes Sharia compliance, etc., all the Sharia exclusions are excluded. All those kind of companies, to name a few exclusions in the ethical, any companies that are into alcohol, gambling, liquor, vulgar entertainment, etc., all will be out. Um, We'll also have financial screening, which is in line with Sharia compliance. For example, any company which has debt more than 25% will be excluded. Any company which has interest income more than 4% is going to be excluded. So these criteria we have, which are stricter or conservative as or more aligned towards Sharia as compared to what we see in the global world. In global world, you see 33% as debt in any company which is allowed. For us, we have kept a lower threshold of 25%. Interest income in global markets generally allow up to 5%. We have kept it slightly more conservative at 4%. So, we are more aligned and conservative in our ethical criteria. At the same time, we have, the next two pillars, which are again essential, which are very unique to Quantum, what Quantum brings to the table, is the integrity checks in each company. So today you might find that, they are ethically compliant, but are they doing what they say on paper, right? Are they ethical companies in real sense? Are they moral companies? Are they conducting business in the right way or not? Are they trustworthy managements? How have their capital allocation decisions be? Has it worked, not worked, etc.? Is what we see in our integrity checks. And at the end of the day, it should result into returns for investors, and therefore there has to be a financial screen that we look at to ensure that these are liquid, ethical, high integrity businesses, but at the same time, will it make money for investors or not? And therefore, our financial checks come into play. We want to avoid any company which has leverage. Their capital allocation decisions over long term have been very good. They are generating, free cash flows. So many companies tend to, have revenues at the top line by giving, freebies, commissions. We have seen many companies that are giving cashbacks, etc., generating a very high revenue, but they hardly translate into profits and therefore free cash flows to investors. And hence, we want to ensure that they are not only growing from a revenue perspective, they're also adding value in terms of profitability. And hence, the financial screens that we have, the financials that we check for any company, ensure that they are good investments. So this four pillar combination of liquidity, ethics, integrity, and financials, we think is a great combination to generate returns for investors, at the same time helping them invest with their values, with their ethical beliefs.
Excellent. You are fully aware of ethical principles, and well done. You have a deep knowledge also. Really, we are appreciating, we are happy to know that since you are handling the fund, but you have still you have a deep knowledge about the Sharia compliance also. Thank you so much. And my next question is Sharia certified certifications you are obtaining from some authority. So we want to know from which authority you are getting the Sharia certificate and how they are auditing your fund.
Sure. So firstly, we have appointed Sharia Cap advisors as our Sharia advisor for the fund. That entity is run by Dr. Shariah Mehta, who himself is a very highly credible person out there who has years of knowledge, and he's associated with the Sharia board, with Sharia scholars out there. So they will be vetting in terms of our portfolio. They've already seen our processes. It aligns very well with Sharia compliance. At the same time, they will do quarterly checks on our portfolio to ensure our portfolio is in line with Sharia compliance. So quarterly, we will get a certificate from them, and also an yearly certificate, which is also signed by the Sharia members overall, which is part of the Sharia board. So we will have those certifications in place on a quarterly basis and on an annual basis to ensure that investors get a confirmation in terms of its Sharia compliance.
Thank you. We are expecting every quarterly certificate and internally. And other one, annual certificate also issued by the all members approval, right? And now you are planning to release the Sharia certificate by annually or semi-annually?
So we are planning semi-annually to be issued by the Sharia board.
Excellent. So, as per the expectation of our investors' interest, you are perfectly aligning with the Sharia compliance. And now we are expecting within the short period of time your first Sharia certificate after the auditing of your fund. So my next question is, what is your perspective towards the Indian mutual fund industry evolving over the next 20 years?
So I think we have a lot of room to grow. Even if today, if you see the penetration levels of mutual funds or mutual fund in other portfolios, despite they've been having a proven track record, it's a very superior vehicle of investing. Still, the allocations are still not very high. We have, of course, seen a big increase in last 2-3 years in terms of investors investing into mutual funds. And I think this trend is here to stay. We will see a lot of savings from investors coming into mutual funds. And today we have a host of products. With the ethical fund, you have, satisfying the needs of investors of investing ethically, investing in values, investing with their belief systems. And, we can cater to all the investor needs in terms of whatever their goals be, short term, long term. So I think we have just got started of channelizing people's investments or savings into investments in the right manner through mutual funds. And I think we will grow very significantly from here on over next 5, 10, 20 years.
Excellent. Okay. And my next question is, quantum Sharia fund face value is now rupees 10 now. My investors also asking when it will be reached rupees 20. So we know that we cannot exactly predict the market, and as well as we can't say when it will be reached exact date or time or year. However, since our investors have some anxiety about the performance of the mutual fund, since you're totally new in the ethical fund, new in your AMC. So what is your view regarding the performance of new ethical fund?
I think performance should be better because, at the end of the day, the saying says that good ethics is good business, right? So I think these are great businesses to own from a long-term perspective. And if you're having a horizon of, 5-7 years, I think you are bound to create wealth in this fund because, the pillars that we have for investments are very promising. We have taken care of all the things, that ingredients that need to be there in a good investment product, at the same time meeting the ethical values that investors want. So I think it's a great combination that comes together. And many a times, with these businesses there are lesser risk also, because if you look at companies like alcohol, tobacco, etc., there is always a risk of, say, government intervention, regulatory impact. Any regulations change, there will be impact on those businesses. Consumer preferences are changing. So all that are risks to those businesses, and you're avoiding those risks by not investing in those businesses. And hence you are, reducing the risk and therefore the potential for higher returns that you can make with the fund. So in all essence, I think this is a great fund. Look at it from a long-term perspective. India is a great story. There are so many businesses. Even after you remove businesses from an ethical construct, still you have a lot of opportunities that are there in India, which are growing significantly. And nominally, we are growing at around 11-12%. And if we can create a good portfolio, and if GDP growth is equal to revenues, and if revenues is equal to profitability, then you will see profits growing by at least 12-13% for companies. And markets at the end of the day reflect profits or earnings of companies, and therefore you can expect on the long run from Indian equity market per se to be making between 12 to 15% kind of returns. So we think that the approach that we have is far superior as compared to normal market cap weighted indexes, and hence we should be able to outperform them over the long run. That's the endeavor that we have.
Excellent, excellent. Indeed, the investors are so excited. New ethical fund introduced, especially after 15 years in the market. hopefully many participants will be there and the invest will be the huge. And my final question is your valuable advice to our investors.
My advice to investors, you
Yes,
say?
exactly.
Of course, I think see, mutual funds are a great vehicle to invest channel your savings into investments and create wealth over the long run. I think you should adopt this way far more as compared to what you have been doing. And I think Quantum Ethical Fund gives you that opportunity to get closer to channelizing your investments into the right way. So I think it's a great combination of alignment of ethics, beliefs, value systems, at the same time, very rational financial checks that would lead to the wealth creation that you're looking for. So I think please do consider, if you believe in investing in the ethical way, please do consider a core allocation to the Quantum Ethical Fund.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your participation, and we are highly appreciating you are spending your valuable time with us, and your participation in interview. You are highly tight schedule. Still, you provided your valuable time. Thank you so much, and really we are appreciating you. And all the best, and for your new career and new assignment also you provided as a new ethical fund. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.